It all began with a sound no one expected, a deep, growling rumble rolling down an otherwise peaceful suburban street. People paused, windows slid open, and curtains shifted as 4 Harley engines echoed through the quiet afternoon. The bikers weren't there to cause trouble, they were simply passing through, their black vests catching sunlight as they rode like shadows stretching across the warm pavement. But life has a strange way of placing the right people in the right moment. Before the engines could fade, a tiny voice rose above the noise, trembling yet brave. A little girl stepped forward, clutching a handmade for sale sign and standing beside her small pink bicycle. Her innocence, her courage, and the raw fear in her voice instantly cut through the tough exterior of the men. In that unexpected moment, everything changed. Because sometimes, the smallest voice can stop the loudest thunder. Ryder turned off his engine and knelt so he could meet the little girl's eyes, and in that instant, the tough world he came from felt strangely quiet. Her name was Mira, just 6 years old, but the weight she carried in her tiny voice belonged to someone who had seen far too much. She clutched her cardboard sign a little tighter as she explained why she wanted to sell her bicycle, the only toy she had. Her mother hadn't eaten in 2 days, she whispered, her words trembling with fear and hope at the same time. Ryder could see exhaustion in her face, a kind no child should ever wear. Behind her, he noticed a woman slumped weakly under a tree, wrapped in a thin blanket. Understanding hit him with a force stronger than any engine roar. In that moment, compassion became louder than the bikes themselves. As Ryder gently asked a few more questions, Mira's story unfolded in pieces, each one heavier than the last. Her mother, Clara, had once worked at a local catering company, showing up early, staying late, doing everything she could to keep life steady for her daughter. But when the company downsized, she was one of the first to be let go. She pleaded with the CEO, hoping he'd understand that she wasn't asking for much, just a little more time. Instead, she was told she was replaceable, as if her years of hard work meant nothing. After that, everything spiraled. With no income and worsening health, Clara became too weak to find new work. Their bills grew, their fridge emptied, and pride kept her from asking anyone for help. Mira had watched her mother shrink in strength but never in love. And that's when the little girl decided to sell the only thing she had left, her bike. Ryder felt something shift inside him, a quiet but undeniable fire that his brothers recognized the moment they saw his face. This wasn't just sympathy, it was the kind of anger born from seeing good people crushed by those who never faced consequences. Without needing to speak, the other bikers, Tank, Viper, and Mason, nodded, forming a silent agreement. They weren't there to intimidate or cause chaos, that wasn't their way. But they had their own code, their own sense of justice, and this situation demanded it. Ryder pressed some money into Mira's small hand, telling her to keep her bike and look after her mother. Then, with the afternoon sun glinting off their chrome and leather, the brothers mounted their motorcycles again. Their engines roared to life, not with rage, but with purpose. Because sometimes, doing the right thing begins with refusing to ride away. When the bikers reached the towering glass office where Hensley worked, they didn't storm in with anger, they walked in with the weight of a truth he could no longer ignore. The receptionist froze as their heavy boots echoed across the marble floor, but Ryder kept his calm, carrying only the small cardboard for sale sign Mira had held. When he stepped into the CEO's office, Hensley tried to hide behind polished words and business excuses, but they crumbled the moment Ryder placed that sign on his pristine desk. Ryder didn't yell, he simply told the story of a mother starving under a tree and a child trying to sell her only toy to survive. And something in Hensley's expression shifted, pride falling away, guilt settling in. By sunset, the town quietly witnessed his sudden generosity. Groceries delivered, hospital bills paid, jobs restored. One honest confrontation had turned a powerful man human again. When Ryder and his brothers returned to the quiet spot beneath the tree, the scene that greeted them felt completely different from the one they had left behind. Mira ran to them with a smile so bright it pushed the shadows away, her small hands no longer shaking with fear. Her mother, Clara, was standing now, still weak, but finally held up by hope instead of desperation. Gratitude glimmered in her eyes as she tried to thank them, though her voice cracked before the words could fully form. Ryder simply nodded, assuring her she owed them nothing except the promise to keep going. They all sat together, sharing simple food that tasted richer than any feast because it was seasoned with kindness. As the sun dipped low, painting gold across the grass and Mira's little pink bike, it felt like the world, just for a moment, was healing. Because sometimes, Hope arrives on two wheels and an open heart.